anyway, there was some back end stuff that I had to take care of immediately. So just to come back, as we know right now, Charlie Kirk's been shot at Utah University while giving one of his debate platforms that he normally does, where he likes to go talk to the college students, the people that are voting in this country, and learn what they have to say and give them an idea of what we have to say, right? Uh, he was shot apparently on the left side of the neck. The suspect is in custody. Suspect has been named by reporters. However, we're not going to give that out right now. There is some background information for that gentleman that I'm accumulating right now, and but we're going to do our due diligence and wait to see what happens there. Right now, he's in critical condition. There is or was a video out of the actual shooting, and it did not look good, and we will not be sharing it.
No. Out of respect for his family, I can't imagine what they're going through right now. It's just unbelievable. But the left. We've talked about this on numerous podcasts. The left wing mainstream media has just created such hysteria in the media, with sensationalizing crazy stuff, and it's no wonder that people are snapping, for lack of a better way of putting it, and doing stuff like this, and it's ridiculous. And a lot of those mainstream media platforms need to be gone.
Well, their licensing needs to be pulled. All right, this is licensing that if I was a businessman and I kept doing something overtly wrong, sooner or later, the Better Business Bureau and the licensing board would say, no, you can no longer have a license. That's where we need to be with the leftist propaganda legacy media that's out there. So I agree. We're keeping up to date. If this Russ, if this guy survives this, I'm telling you right now, it's nothing short of a miracle. I see nothing. I don't.
Yeah.
I would be I'm flabbergasted if he actually does. I'm pulling up the stream again from Fox News.
Yep. Yeah. Again, inciting, radicalism information. MSNBC. You cannot stop with these awful thoughts you have, then saying these awful words, and then not expect awful actions to take place.
Meanwhile, that is what the left is doing.
That's from MSNBC. I'm looking at it right now on it.
After this senseless act, DNC Chair Ken Martin writes, I'm horrified by the news coming out of Utah about the attack on Charlie Kirk. Political violence has no place in our country, not now and not ever. Praying for him and his family. Here in California, Governor Gavin Newsom saying, quote, the attack on Charlie Kirk is disgusting, vile, and reprehensible. In the United States of America, we must reject political violence in every form. And from former Speaker Nancy Pelosi, quote, the horrific shooting today at Utah Valley University is reprehensible. Political violence has absolutely no place in our nation. All Americans should pray for Charlie Kirk's recovery and hold the entire UVU community in our hearts as they endure the trauma of this gun violence. And from former Vice President Kamala Harris, quote, I am deeply disturbed by the shooting in Utah. Doug and I send our prayers to Charlie Kirk and his family. Let me be clear, political violence has no place in America. I condemn this act, and we all must work together to ensure this does not lead to more violence. Also speaking,
even their response to it all seems scripted, right? It all sounds the same. Every bit of it sounds the same, right? Yeah. No, of course you don't want it to lead to anything further, Kamala, because you have been pushing the envelope for so long. Of course you don't want it to lead to anything further. Of course you don't want any retribution from the people that are seeing what's going on.
Well,
Go ahead.
yeah, yeah. My news hound behind me here just showed me something. The New York Times is saying that the individual that they have apprehended was not the shooter.
There you go. So
Um,
very good, very good.
so that's
So
what
the shooter very well could still be at large.
could very well be at large. And like I said, Russ's experience with gunfire and stuff like that, to me, it sounded like a small caliber pistol, not a rifle. 200-yard shot, it may be a 22 if it was that size. Pure speculation, folks. Pure speculation. You would still have a little bit more crack than what I heard on the video. But that's just Russ. So,
Right.
AP is reporting critical condition, so he is still alive currently. Thank God.
Yeah, I'm leaning in your direction also, Russ. Right now, actually. Based on the video, I think there would have been I
Well,
don't know.
and
I'm not going to speculate, but I think that
what you just showed up, can you back that up? Or is that live?
I think I can back it up.
Prayers for Charlie Kirk. All right, let's bring in Joey Gallegos, who is a sophomore at Utah Valley University and was on the scene today. Joey, thank you for being with us here today. I take it you were in the crowd, some thousands there.
You see the scene
at the university. Please share with us your experience.
I can't. Yeah, it won't let me go back.
Okay. So what I saw on the scene, and if it shows it again, pause it. Based off of where we suspect Charlie was.
Well, there you go, right there.
Okay.
That's where he is, right there.
Now, are they going to show? Let's see if they show where the crowd disperses from, because they're all going away from him. But would they be going toward the sound? You know what I'm saying? They would be going away from the sound. And all the video I'd seen prior was everybody was dispersing away from the stage, not away from one of the high points that we see in the video.
Yeah, well, let's see. Maybe they'll show it here on this one here. No, they're not going to show it.
Because I think everybody watching is hoping, praying, and seeking information on the condition of Charlie. Were you able to see him after this horrible shooting?
So I was recording, and I dropped to look at my phone to stop it, and that's when the gun went off. But I do remember as I was trying to run away, like I think he was on the floor, like. But I rewatched the video that I had took, and you could see him like jump back and then fall off. So I really hope he's okay. But from the looks of it, I don't know.
Joey, I have two boys, both teenagers. They often say to me, "Do you know Charlie Kirk?" And I say, "Yes, I'm friends with Charlie Kirk." A lot of young people, when I meet them, last weekend I was at a college campus at Ohio State, and they asked me, "Do I know Charlie Kirk?" What is it about Charlie Kirk that brought you and so many out today in Utah?
Well, I just remember, I remember watching him like about a year ago, and he was just really, really inspiring, just to the youth of our country, and just all of his ethics, his morale, it was everything. It was life-changing for me, honestly. Like, I became a Republican because of Charlie. Everything he said just made sense, and it just clicked in my head. And I was so excited to go out today and just like see him in action. Like he's a really nice, respectful guy. Like all he's doing is debating and like just their disagreements, and so I really don't know what would bring anyone to do that to him.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the event today and the crowd? Was it mostly young people like yourself? Was it mostly students? Was it mostly people excited to see Charlie?
Yeah, so I had gotten there around like 11 because I just got out of class, but there was people there before 11, like 9, 10, like just camping out just to see him. Even some people in my class were going to go, and there was just tons of crowds. So it was just a bunch of students, who were just really excited to listen to a guy who has like-minded beliefs and stuff. And yeah, it was pretty big. There was a lot of people there.
All right. Well, Joey, I know it's been a difficult day. We thank you for sharing some of what your experiences was today with us. And again, I know you join us in our prayers for Charlie. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right. Let's go now to Fox News senior White House correspondent Jackie Heinrich. She has some reaction from the White House.
Yeah, well, we were told less than an hour ago that the Situation Room and the National Security Advisor Marco Rubio, who's also the Secretary of State, were actively monitoring this, engaging with state officials to try to learn the latest about Charlie's condition and also any information on who committed this horrible act. Since then, I have gotten no answers to any of the texts and calls and emails I've sent. A lot of closed doors in the upper press area, and I'm told people are basically just huddling in the Oval Office and closely monitoring what's going on. Obviously, the Situation Room's also engaged. A lot of concern was just written on their faces. Most of the people in the press area are, press office rather, that work for this administration are young people themselves. But from the president on down, so much admiration for Charlie Kirk. He was obviously a strong supporter of the president, animated a youth vote that we hadn't seen really come out reliably in past elections, and really made a difference for President Trump, and just a speaker who engaged people in such a unique way. Just a lot of shock and concern on the face.
Russ, I'm with you. I'm with you now. I watched the video over and over again. Sorry, I know I haven't been talking, guys, so I kind of had Fox going, but I'm just trying to digest all of this and keep my anger intact here. Still I'm looking at the dispersing crowd now. Yeah, I'm with you. I think it was I don't think it was a rifle shot. I think I don't know. We'll leave that up to the ballistics.
To the experts in ballistics. Yeah. We are by no means experts.
Right.
No, YouTube's we're still streaming on YouTube.
We're good right now. Son of a gun. We had to I had to stop real quick and take care of some business on the back end, do my due diligence on business on the back end. But we're back.
That was the right call, boss. You know that.
I know.
Yeah. I'm gonna make sure I can save this one.
Let me get the volume up for everybody.
Influential with the White House, and he was on a personal level friends with many of the men that we were just discussing. I know for a fact his friendship with many of those now world leaders. What, if you've had any chance to connect with them today, what have you gathered? What is their mindset and the climate inside the White House?
Just horror that this could happen to somebody who is so close to them. This administration, I think, has taken sort of a new approach of integrating different types of media, and Charlie certainly fits in that category as somebody who is very active online.
I'm going to pause this real quick because we're getting some info over there on Kick. Was that person apprehended, Jeff? I'm not seeing anything on that yet.
They are sort of forward-leaning and trying to engage audiences in different places. And Charlie goes to the schools where kids, young voters are. That was where this happened today. So seeing that come full circle, just a lot of concern written all over their faces when I went up there. But now, the last time I went up, doors are closed. And
I have not seen that yet on. I'll wait to announce that also, Jeff.
Situation Room.
Yep.
But that would be my speculation also.
So it is sort of a wait and see here. But the last update was just a
yeah,
lot of worry.
I saw a different video.
Thank you for that report, Jackie.
Thanks.
All right, meanwhile,
the one I saw, and I see where you're talking about in regards to where the wing placement was. I hope we're wrong.
Yeah, so there are reports. If we can get a link or something on that, Jeff, on both of those things there, that'd be awesome.
news, John Solomon?
Just the news, Justin Solomon.
And like 10 to 20
Yeah,
seconds later,
reporting.
after
Yep.
I got done talking to Charlie, I saw that he was shot in the neck and that he was squirting blood everywhere. But I was piecing things together, and it was really weird because the second guest that I talked to, before I went and asked him the question, what I was going to ask him, he was talking to him about how he was going to ask about transgenderism or something like that. But nothing about shootings. And this is the irony that came to me, which was like, right when he asked that, not like 5-10 seconds later, he was shot. And not only that, right after that, someone confessed to it who had no weapon, which makes me think that it was clearly a setup and that multiple people were involved. So, but prior to that, that's all I saw because everyone was squirming.
Did you see anybody fire a shot?
I didn't see anyone fire a shot. I think it had to come from an elevated position for sure. And I think it had to have been a long rifle based off of how, so Charlie was like 10 yards in front of me from where my microphone was. So even if you have a pistol, if someone was talking about a pistol and all this stuff and shooting, it's hard to just hit an accurate shot with a pistol from 20 yards away. So it sounded like a .22 rifle, to me, my perspective, but it had to have come from an elevated position. It couldn't have been anywhere. Someone would have saw someone pull out a gun, and the person that confessed didn't have anything on them. So they're still looking for the shooter right now, is what a firefighter just told me like about 10 minutes ago. Yeah.
Horrific details there from that eyewitness as to the nature of Charlie's potential wounds. Let's bring in now former CIA agent Buck Sexton, retired FBI Special Agent Maureen O'Connell, and former FBI agent Jonathan Gillum. Thank you all for being with us here today. Buck, let's start together, and I think I'd like to start here. You and I are both friends with Charlie. Let's talk about Charlie the man for a moment. You might have heard me talking a little bit earlier about how supportive he is of everyone. I'm sure of you. I'm sure of me. He is a family man. He is a father. He is a Christian, a true believer in Jesus Christ. Tell us about the man you know, Charlie Kirk.
Charlie is a force of nature for good in this country and around the world. I met Charlie a decade ago. I spoke at one of his very first events before, honestly, anybody really even knew the name Charlie Kirk, and have had just a lot of time spent talking to him. I remember sitting down with him in my living room when I lived in Washington, D.C. We were sketching out ways to win back the youth in this country to constitutionalism and to sanity and I'm sorry, it's upset. This whole thing was. I've never almost thrown up before on the radio, and that happened. We were talking about this live. Look, I'm still pulling for Charlie and praying for Charlie. I just can't believe this has happened. There's shock for a lot of us who know him, and shock for the country and for the state that this puts us in. We know that he was shot. We know that he's grievously wounded. He's in the hospital right now, and prayers are up all over the country. That already puts us in a place that it's going to get very dark. It's a very shocking and terrifying place for the country to be right now. And I know we want to focus on. I'm sorry, Will. I know we focus on what a great individual Charlie is, and he is. The whole thing is just so hard. I just can't believe the guy's an unstoppable force. He's a dynamo, and I'm just praying for him with every fiber of my being, because he's a father, he's a husband, he's a great friend, he's a great been a great mentor to so many young people in particular all over the country. Built an incredible international organization, helped deliver this amazing win to Donald Trump in the last election. He's just a critical figure for our time right now, and I'm just, with every fiber of my being, I'm sitting here just hoping Charlie's going to be okay. I just can't believe this is where we are. And Will, I know you and I just feel like any moment now we're just hoping we get good news.
Buck, you don't have to apologize for being a human being and how you feel today. It's a complicated mix of emotions that are both personal and also terrifying for our country and where this leads America. I'm simultaneously sad, like you, Buck, and I'm also very angry. And I'm sitting here today trying to do my best to make this something that everyone understands on an objective level, a rational level in America. On that note, Jonathan, I'd love to turn to you. Right before we came to the three of you, Jonathan, we heard there from an eyewitness who talked about the details that he experienced or he witnessed today in Utah. He talked about a potential elevated position for the shooter. That witness.
Okay, I'm going to pause that because we got some questions coming in. The American Voice is saying that he was assassinated. I don't know if you're talking about the shooter or Charlie Kirk. There are other reports of now giving the name of, but I can't find anything to substantiate that yet, guys. So I'm not gonna do that again. And also, the condition is not being reported on any of the mainstream media right now, which doesn't mean anything. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I would say it was an assassination attempt, 100%. I would say he. Oh, I see what you're saying. Denise said he was assassinated. Using that in a. Yeah, I got you. But yet,
in the vernacular.
yeah, yet I still have no. Let me go back to some of the other news agencies. Get my phone out of the way. Throw the audio back on this.
Witnesses say, with a grain of salt, this could have been a distant shooting. There was plenty of elevation for a shooter to get up to. And I know that law enforcement that's coming in there, I don't know about this campus security. I don't know how good they are, if they're police. But as law enforcement comes in there, I would hope that they don't just sit on this one individual and they say that, okay, that's the shooter, and they stop right there. So they still need to be treating it as an active shooter, which is probably why they have considered the campus on lockdown, so that they can continue to look for other people. There will be reports come in that will say that there was more than one shooter, because that's what witnesses see. They think they see somebody that does something that and they turned around or they made a movement, and so they will assume that that was a shooter as well. So, but they'll have to look at all of those things. I will say, so my company does threat assessments. We have different entertainment tours that we travel all over the world with, and we do threat assessments on a daily basis. And venues, we do our own threat assessment, and then we coordinate those with the venues and law enforcement when possible. And college campuses are notoriously bad for having little to no security, and they don't want to participate. And so this is something that's an issue. And for an outdoor event like this, it is a very dangerous circumstance for people who are influencers and who speak out and can sometimes anger the left. This is not presidential security. So Charlie had his security detail, but there's only so much they can do to secure the college because they're not authorities. So I think it could have been close up. It could have been far away. Both of those are possibilities at this point in time. But it was a shot that was, I think, going to be heard round the world, just regardless of whether Charlie lives or he passes. This is something that's going to affect the future of this nation.
To the point of security detail, Jonathan, Buck, Maureen, anyone that knows Charlie knows he also does travel with a security detail. Of course, that detail would not be
Okay, so still nothing definitive on that I could find on the outcome of Charlie Kirk being shot. I did see the video, like we've talked about. It was not a pretty sight, so in my opinion, it'd be a miracle if he does survive this. And also, there is some reports that somebody is in custody. 2 people now, I'm assuming, are in custody. One person may not have anything to do with it, and the other one I have no information on.
Well, and see, according to the university, the shooting suspect is not in custody. It's just going across the
There
street
you go.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm keeping
when it comes
an
to
eye
breaking
over
news.
on.
So you have to
There's
understand
just so
that
much stuff
information
coming
is
out.
fluid, and it appears, Maureen, it's already changed in Utah.
Not surprising, because as you said, things like this often do change. I do find it very interesting that when they had him on the ground and they were hooking him up, his one phrase that he murmured was, "I have the right to remain silent." Why would someone who's not involved say that? I don't know. We'll have to wait to see what the experts say. But with regard to the shooting, I agree with what your other panel members have said. I'd also like to say that, you know, I think Charlie Kirk had such hope and such belief in the future of this country, and with the help of all the youth and all the young people that he dealt with on a daily basis. He had such stick-to-itiveness, and his level of dedication to his cause was just remarkable. And if I have one memory of Charlie that really just
that's what I'm thinking also, Caleb.
It was after the election night, late at night, when he'd been at it since, you know, for days in advance, and he finally realized that with that count, Trump had won, and it was in large part because of his efforts, and he lowered his head and put his face in his hands. That's a remarkable time to remember him by as we think of him now. And I am, like the others, still praying, but this was a vicious, terrible attack.
And I have heard every single one of us speak at times. I don't even know why we have. It's not right to, but we have spoken almost at times in past tense. But there are no, we should note, Charlie Kirk still needs our prayers. That the last update we have is Charlie Kirk is in critical condition. I appreciate the three of you being with us here right now. I hope you'll stick around.
Yeah, Caleb, being shot at 2:10, if he's still alive, it is a good sign. Or it also could be that they're delaying that to notify everybody. So we're going to see.
So I just remember looking up and going, that sounds like a gunshot. That's a gunshot. And then I saw all the kids running out. And then that's when I took cover.
All right, let's bring in Sage Steele, who was set to speak at a conference with Charlie Kirk next week. For what it's worth, I spoke to Sage on the phone this morning before this event. I happen to know that Sage is on her honeymoon, and I tell you that because I want you to know how important it was for Sage to join us here today with this news. Sage, your reaction.
I can't find the words, Will. Evil. A couple of weeks ago, after the Minneapolis shooting, that's the same word that came to mind. First and foremost, prayer and heartbreak, and pray and pray and pray. And second, you start to say why. And to me, there is only one explanation, and that is evil. Maybe we eventually learn deeper about that, the why of the shooters. We don't know any details right now. It's not worth speculating. I guess we shouldn't be shocked because of what has happened over the last, just think of the last 13 months, and July 13th in Butler, Pennsylvania, and so many things since then. Charlie Kirk is one of the strongest, bravest people that I know. He has, on a personal level, encouraged me so much to not be afraid to wear this cross like I used to be. He's taught me so much about God and faith and doing the right thing even when it's hard. Charlie Kirk is changing this country, certainly changed the election. I looked at some of the numbers earlier, and the Democrats lost 20% of that vote, 18 to 29. I've said from day one, it's because of Charlie Kirk. I have 3 college-age kids, as you know, Will, and Charlie Kirk is the reason why they began to care and dig a little deeper and try to understand what's going on in this country, because he encouraged thought and then came with facts. And unfortunately, it seems as if when people realize they're losing in many ways, they get desperate and they resort to violence in evil ways. And that is what we are witnessing. We witnessed July 13th last year with President Trump in Butler, and we're witnessing again today. And I'm devastated and heartbroken for him, for Erica, for his 2 beautiful children, and for this country that we've gotten to this point.
Let's talk more about this country for a moment, Sage. It's really hard. It's even hard for me. I'm sure it's hard for you not to be angry in this moment. And as much as there's been a great victory over the last 13 months, and as we've all suggested, under no small influence by Charlie Kirk, it also feels like this country is on edge when you see moments like this, and it makes you wonder about the path forward in this country. As you look at this today and you put it into the context, as you did, of the last 13 months, where do we go from here in America?
That's the question I've been asking since I heard this news. What do we do? My family group text right now is really interesting because there's many diverse opinions and political beliefs in my family group text. And
all right, Russ, I don't think we're going to get any more information other than speculation at this point. I can tell you,
believe so.
just to end it, Charlie Kirk shot Utah while giving one of his debate quorums at Utah University. There's videos out there. For the most part, they've been deleted off of X. The video was out. It looked very graphic. I will say that if he survives this attack, it would be nothing less than a miracle. But seeing wounds like this in the past, I would say that I am skeptical that is going to be the outcome for Mr. Charlie Kirk. So I'm not even going to, there's nothing I can tell you or even say anything else. I'm just going to go on with my evening and let the news cycle do its thing. So tomorrow night we'll rehash everything on the Eden Army podcast on all the platforms at 8 p.m. Eastern time, and maybe we'll have some more information as well as how we can protect ourselves in certain circumstances when we're out in the public. So, Russ, you got anything to leave us with, or are you good to go there?
And other than just keep Charlie Kirk and his family, especially his family, in your prayers. Hand of God can do wonderful things, and we'll just keep praying that that happens. And other than that, we'll see him tomorrow. Everybody tomorrow night, and we'll definitely be digging a little deeper into this one tomorrow night with whatever else we can find that comes out. So.